You must be upset. Are you upset? No.
Do you want to start off with?
I was gonna ask you what your plan is after Victoria.
Oh, I don't know. Travel for a bit. You know this. You want to come to Nepal in your dream world.
But I don't know exactly where you're going.
What's that song that we like?
Country roads.
No, the other one. Da, 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 da.
You can go your own
Yeah,
way.
you can go your own way.
Yeah, you'll go one place, I'll go the other.
Yeah, no, well, you don't have. It doesn't have to be like that. Okay, down to business. What do you think of the giant duck in Toronto right now? Or that's going to Toronto.
It doesn't faze me that much, but it's fucking retarded.
Not supposed to say the R word.
Oh yeah. I know. I think it's pretty silly. Like, I don't know. We've already talked about this so much.
I know, but we haven't talked about it on camera yet.
Yeah, well, it's silly. I mean, why should they be using so much money, no matter what their budget is, to put it towards a rubber duck over anything they could have put it towards? Even if it was like, we're gonna buy like this crazy fireworks display, right? Why not like a huge fireworks display and just be like, "Ooh yeah, Canada Day."
It was $120,000 isn't chumps change, so
Isn't?
yeah, no, that's a lot of money. And the thing that's okay, it's 120 grand that for a duck. That was, first of all, apparently it was stolen. Like, the dude who actually did it is some guy from the Netherlands named Flo Hoffman, and he had like him and the guy from LA had like a bunk business deal where the guy paid him. I don't know if I already told you all this, but like the guy paid him for the plans and then took his plans, apparently, like allegedly, and then just built it. And now he's renting it out. And the Dutch guy
from America.
Yeah. Go figure, America. We go to America to make lots of money. Yeah. But yeah, and the Flo dude was like, "Yeah, I was gonna give it to you for free, Canada." I don't know if he was just saying that because he was pissed someone's renting it
Because now
out.
it's already too late,
Yeah,
so
it's
he
too
could be
late.
the good guy.
Yeah, and someone's already making 200 grand off it, but I don't know if that's true. And it's a duck. It has nothing to do. Like, if it was a beaver, I'd be okay. That's stupid, but it's a beaver. Like beaver, loon, anything. And the spokesperson for the ministry said that it was for every $1 spent on the duck, it's going to bring in or generate $20 worth of revenue. Now, I don't know if he means like 20 to 1, that's straight 20 for every, like, for if they spend 120 grand, 20 to 1 on that is like $2.5 billion.
Where does that correlation come into play?
Someone made it up, and it's full of shit. Even if in like tourism or in any business thing, there's something like I'd explain to you, the multiplier effect, where, like, let's say the circle inside here is our economy, and then someone comes from outside our economy and spends money. Now there's more money in the economy, and it gets passed around. So like, you buy, like, if we go to Seattle, the money that we bring in is new money into that economy. We buy a beer. The owner of the beer store buys a fucking sandwich, and then that person buys cigarettes before someone finally puts it in the bank. So even at like using a 2.5 multiplier effect, the duck would have to, like, just the duck being there would have to make people spend $1 million. No, I haven't, like, on Canada Day, I don't see $1 million being spent just because someone sees a fucking duck.
People want to come see a duck.
Yeah,
so they're gonna spend all
it's
that
Canada.
money.
It's Canada Day.
So the guy who made the duck, where is he from for sure?
The dude who made it's from, he's from the Netherlands.
Not that guy, but the guy they
He's from
bought it
LA.
from. LA?
Yeah. He
So-
bought the plans, and the dude in LA made his own thing. Like, he made his own duck.
So Canada Day is celebrating with how much did it cost?
It's not even, we didn't buy it, it's rented.
How much are we renting it for?
120 grand for, I think, like a 7-day or 10-day long celebration.
And they bought it from a guy in America.
No, rented.
Rented, sorry.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, like, if they were at least gonna have, like, spend something retarded, silly, it'd be like,
Politically correct.
yeah.
Or PC.
I just think,
But the thing is,
they'd buy from a Canadian artist because they're like, oh, we're gonna, like, support a Canadian artist, or we're gonna, like, it's Canada. They're like, Canada Day, and here's this dude from LA, like.
Yeah, well, and the guy toting the 20 to 1 to Jeff Cohen's, I think, it was like, with that statement saying that $1 brings in 20, like, it's not like that $20 is going to the, like, to cover like healthcare, transportation, like any of that $20 that are being. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make a big assumption here that a lot of that money is gonna be spent at the beer gardens. So all that money, it's like, let's say $5, like 25 or 30% of the money spent on Canada Day is at a beer garden, which I don't think would be unreasonable. It's not like the money's going back to people, so I don't even know why he fucking brought that up. Like, oh, like $1, it's gonna generate $20 for Budweiser or Molson. Like, it's not generating money for people in the economy. It's people it's people of lower and middle classes spending money. Generally, I'm sure there's lots of small markets and stands and all that stuff, but there's a lot of big name players that are going to be around.
It's not going to the people.
Yeah, it's not going. Yeah, it's not like they're collecting that $20. It's like, yeah, people are going to
help
spend
people with this money.
It's like for every $1 that you guys spend on this duck, you're going to spend 20 more on Canada Day.
Yeah, at these businesses that are like helping the event.
Yeah, at these super rich businesses that pay us big money and are big corporations. Like, it's just stupid.
Well, what else are they gonna? How else are they gonna celebrate? Because I bet you they were sitting there and they're thinking, "What the fuck else are we gonna celebrate with? Like, it's Canada Day. What are we gonna do? Like, get a jumpy castle or like wacky inflatable arm flailing tube guys?"
There's got to be something though, man. Like, okay, first of all, the lady they put in, the liberal Eleanor McMahon. Okay, she said it's gonna be fun and not to worry about it. She was made the Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sports in 2016. She doesn't have. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm not like putting down what she's done. She's worked at some big companies. No post-secondary education, as far as I've read. No experience in tourism, culture, or sports at all whatsoever. She was like somewhere up there. She was doing very well for herself at some companies, but I have no clue how she got to like I think to be in the Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sports, you have to have some sort of training or knowledge of tourism, culture, and sports. Like, it just makes sense. You can't just throw anybody in there.
So she's the one who's in charge of this duck.
She is. I don't know where the $128,000
went.
Yeah, I don't know. I know where it came from. It came from the Ontario government, but I don't know who it went to.
Well, I'm sure it's not the first time that a country has spent like a ridiculous amount of money.
Why does someone who's like that get into that position of power? Like, it's just someone who's up there in the club playing around, and then they get thrown in a position. Like, there's probably a lot of people in Ontario that are, probably not a lot, but there are probably a significant amount of people that have more experience in hospitality, tourism, and culture than her, that are like respectable individuals, post-secondary education, maybe a doctorate in something, like, I don't know, or a master's degree. And it's just like, how could you put someone who's so inept and stupid that they would spend $120,000 to rent a 6-story duck that they could have got for free, that then said all of it should be like a fun, and like, this should be fun, like, stop making a big fuss about it. Like, she just seems so stupid. And I hate to do this, but if you Google her, she just looks like kind of stupid too. Like,
she just bugs you when you look at her.
Well, she doesn't. Okay, let me see if I can.
Well, don't worry about showing me.
No, you're gonna.
You know what's really funny though is that we're talking with this lady and it's such a big deal. We're so upset. Wait, so is she? So she's obviously a big part of the decision to get the duck, to rent it.
She must have. What the fuck? That's what I last searched. Russian spy poisoned London. I swear I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
She's the one who, like...
Yeah. She's the one who must have had something to...
Oh, I could see her being excited about a big duck.
Like, she does... Oh... Man, I don't want to shame. I mean, I'm sure she's a nice person. No, cycling, that's really sweet. She's good. Seems to be a good person. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean you're a good person, but good for you for biking. It's better than driving.
Okay, so but she made a big decision in the part of renting the duck.
She made a statement that reinforced that she wasn't upset, or made her look like she wasn't upset that they rented the duck. Mm-hmm. Whether or not she had the final say on it or it gave it the okay, I don't know. But she backed up a statement like, "No, 100%, we're behind this duck. Like, this duck is going to be sweet."
She gave it the seal of approval.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she gave it the seal of approval, but after it got put out there, she was fully on board and committed to saying it was the right decision. She could have, I don't know, for whatever I know, Jeff Cohen's could have done it without telling her anything and then completely fucked a dog and she got upset, but she has to save face or something. Completely possible, not out of the realm of, possibility. I should try some more of this.
Well, I guess we'll wait till next year to see what they do with Canada, because they obviously fucked up this year. But dude, we're talking about this lady, right? And we're like, how did she get up there? She has no, like, post-education. She has no this, no that, all the qualifications, or, like, should be. And then you have... It's going to be great. And he's running the country.
Oh, Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got to be smart.
Yeah, but how...
He's gotta
in
be a
any way
genius.
is he, like, political, though?
Or he's not.
Like, it knows how to run a country at all. So it's like, this
doesn't-
lady
he
isn't that bad compared to,
That's
like, what
good.
America's doing with who's
that's
running their country.
Okay, but
Like,
that's-
even, like, Trudeau.
Okay,
He's
well,
pretty,
just
like,
because you can't
people hate Trudeau, but
Okay.
it's still, like, he has, like, background. I mean, like, his dad was the prime
That doesn't
minister.
mean shit.
Well, it's still, like, he's involved in some way. Donald Trump was, like, a TV
Commodus,
host.
his dad was Marcus Aurelius, man, and Commodus was batshit crazy, and Marcus Aurelius was one of the best Roman emperors there were.
Well, it's probably why he's batshit crazy. That was fucked up times.
No, it's nothing to do with that. I'm just saying you can't, just because you're come from like a family or like of money doesn't mean the kid's not going to be fucked.
Well, he's not fucked.
Okay,
He's not
because
that fucked. All I'm saying, though...
You're saying, like, comparing us to, like, the bottom of the barrel. Like, oh, like, everything looks good compared to that. Like,
so you're saying, like, Donald Trump's the bottom of the barrel?
For politicians, okay, as a
Or, like,
business,
anybody to
as a
be, like,
business
appointed to
person
the
or as
leader?
whatever he is outside the presidency, I'm not going to comment on that like he does. Whatever he does and he likes doing, he does it good. He does something well.
Yeah.
Business,
Obviously.
There's some
definitely
things
business.
he does well.
But I mean, he's
that-
running a country. Like, it is business, but it's also.
I mean, would I
like,
pick someone else? Of course I would. But it's there, right? You have to run with it. There's nothing you can do now. I mean, short of like the extremes, which I don't think it's even close to being there yet. Like short of the two extremes, whether it's some citizen goes fucking nuts and tries to pull a JFK, or everyone in the government says like, oh, okay, we need to get him out, like some weird House of Cards shit. Like, I don't think he's going anywhere soon. He hasn't done anything too crazy. And I think the media likes to hype it up because now, like, no one liked to watch the news like 10 years ago, man. Like, I remember, it's not just when we were kids the news was boring as fuck. The news used to be a lot more boring as fuck. Like, back in the, like...
It was, like,
we
no
watched,
drama?
We watched Nightcrawler the other night, man.
What's Nightcrawler?
You were... It's the photo one. We got really stoned.
The photo one.
Jake Gyllenhaal goes around taking photos of all, like, the murder stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that, like, I think that's played a big thing into it. Like, the news has been boring for so
Oh,
long.
yeah.
And now that they're like, oh, well, we're going to show some, like Trump grabs someone by the pussy and, like, some, like, they just throw, like, stuff that you wouldn't want to show your grandmother on the news. Like, if you shouldn't show your grandmother, I think when people go, oh, you're going to cover things up and, like, censor this, I think, no, it's just, like, some news sources should have something, some news sources should have other things, and, like, the two major news sources, like, there's clearly, this one's left, this one's right. It's not hard to point out. Like, news sources should be pretty much unbiased, and I don't know if the reasons behind their biasy, if that's even a word, it's whether that's who they align with personally, or there's, like, some monetary, like, kickback, or if they're owned by, I know everyone says one company's owned by this, the other one's owned by that, one's very liberal, one's very, very Republic, but, I mean, news got cool, and shit just started
Well, that helped
happening.
him, though.
Yeah.
Right? As much as
that's
that's
why
fucking him
that's why
over,
he's
but it
president.
still helped him, yeah.
When could you turn a TV on and not see Donald Trump on for the
Yeah,
last 3
exactly.
years?
I see him on, like, on my iPhone. As soon as I boot it up, it gives you the news.
Reddit, he's top 3
He's
posts
always
on
on
Reddit all the
Reddit.
time. I don't want to fucking deal with it anymore. I don't even want to hear
Dude,
the
I was
name.
just, like, laughing my ass off at that meme of him moving one of those NATO leaders out of the way and then just, like... He's like,
I like the one where he's got the Pokemon cards and he's like...
oh, yeah. Dude, he's just, like, a mockery, though. So, I mean, compared to, like, Canada buying a rubber duck, it's, like, petty drama.
Yeah.
You stoned ass son of a bitch.
Tonight's weed is brought to you by Beard Brothers Society. It is the strain by Cadas.
He must have been really stoned when he
that's
wrote
really-
that down, because I
don't know
can't
if you
read
can
that.
see this, but this BC, it looks okay.
Chicken
From
scratch.
here, it looks Arabic almost. My God, it's okay. Oh yeah, Beard Brothers Society. Oh no, it's the right way. Jeez, I'm high. The Beard Brothers Society. Very good marijuana. Very questionable penmanship.
The Beard Brothers Society.
All right, on to the next thing. Oh. The Lisa Helps thing that we ranted about a bit yesterday.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, should I retell the thing?
I think so.
Okay.
Just
So basically, she made a statement telling that rich people that, hey, everyone knows there's a housing crisis in Victoria, so can you billet homeless people? Which billet, I don't know if they wanted money out of it, but usually I know from like hockey kids that billeting is you stay there for free. So more or less what she was asking was for rich people to sort of give the homeless people a break, whether that's giving them a free place to stay or like a discounted rooms. The lady who she is staying with, she rents from her, but it's alleged that some people have made a reasonable argument that it's her like spouse, like her common law wife.
Right.
Because there's it was like, oh, super conspiracy. She's what's her name? Oh, I forget her name. Lisa Banks. Shit, Lisa Helps.
Banks.
I don't know, man. I got Fresh Prince in my mind. Lisa Helps. Well, yeah, she said like, shut up. She had an article, or she talked to someone about. There's an article with her saying that she lived with that same lady, Murianne or something. Let's call her.
Right.
Murianne, like years ago, and she talked about raising the child, or helping raise a child, and they lived together. And Murianne.
Kind of like common law.
Yeah, Murianne donated like $10,000 or $20,000 worth of cash and or goods or services to the campaign. So it's like either a really like at the most troublesome for her scenario, it's her lover whom she's technically common law and she's like avoiding the law to not be common law, and she's lying about these claims that someone she lives with has Airbnbs,
right, that
she's in a relationship with. Or at the best case, a really good friend of hers that she lives with that she should probably have said, hey, you can't have Airbnbs if I'm going to tell everybody in Victoria that we should house homeless people for free.
Yeah, if she's like making that statement, she should know that like what she's actually standing for. And, you know, that's so silly. Like, you can't go two ways like that. You can't preach one thing and then do the other. Right?
Yeah, I know. But someone like, I guess it's gotten so bad that someone's like, just say anything, like even if it is fucking weird.
So she's just up there and she's just standing for what her group believes in, and she's just the face of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or like someone who's like, you know what I mean, where you can just be
like a prime minister or a president.
Yeah, you can be a bad person but have a good face.
Yeah.
Or not like a bad person, just like when push comes to shove, you don't actually like. Anyone can be like, yeah, if I had the opportunity to like, and like even we do it, be like, I'm sure like we don't do some things that we're like, yeah, I'm like proud of this, proud of that, like, and then you really fuck the dog on it. But maybe it was just one of those moments for her when she was like, yeah, I would never do that, and I think that people who have money should do this, and then she got caught up in the, oh wait, I'm in a common law relationship with someone who has that kind of money, and they are making life choices that directly contradict like a public statement I just made. So like one of the two things has to happen.
Her common law has she has like an Airbnb.
Her supposed common law. They live
okay, so she doesn't have an Airbnb.
No, not her.
Oh well, I don't know. That's like
that's fuck.
I don't know. It's kind of like, oh, it's my spouse. Like, what if you're like I don't know, your spouse is an alcoholic or something.
If it was her Airbnb.
Oh, but she's getting money donated to her from the Airbnb, so that's kind of
no. Okay, it's not like from the Airbnb. It's from the lady that owns the Airbnb. But you could, now that you mention that, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because she directly benefits from the Airbnb, because the wealth of the person making her largest campaign contributions, or whatever you want to call it, donations. The amount she gets is
10,
probably correlated with the amount of money that person makes. So it's in her best interest that person has more money.
Right.
You know, I know that's a stretch. That's such a far fucking stretch. That's so far away I think, but it's still something that needs to be considered.
Hmm.
That I think it would probably be more anything. She was like, we have an Airbnb, cool, and then she's like, wow, there's lots of homeless people here. I need to say something, like, and then thought about it. Came up with the statement, and then probably really didn't think it through.
Right.
And then said it. I don't know. She could be a total asshole, and she tried to. She could have a bunch of involvement too. I don't know.
Mm.
She could run them.
And she's the. What's her status? I don't know much about her.
She's the mayor.
She's the mayor of Victoria.
Yeah.
That's so over and over. It's just like leaders of any group. I don't know how they become leaders or what it means to be a leader if you're like super fucked up, like Donald Trump.
Yeah, this isn't super fucked up, but this is just like super scandalous. Like,
or kind of like the duck situation, though.
Everybody slips, man. Everybody. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
okay.
good point.
Okay, when you get paid,
I guess it just looks twice as bad when you're up on the podium.
Yeah, it looks a lot worse. And the thing is, I think that especially in like the world we live in today, when like with like monetary value having such a high. I'm high. Like a high, not a status, because that doesn't make sense, but it's to be sought after, right? Like money is a good thing. If someone's gonna pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can't be fucking up things like ordering party arrangements.
Right.
Like if there's some things that when you're getting paid a few $100,000 that you can't fuck up.
Don't misuse the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like if surgeons were bad at their job, you'd be pretty quick to be like, you gotta go. And I know that's like comparing apples and oranges, but if we were to like run a society as efficient as possible, even if our goal is to maximize happiness, you could put some sort of label on efficiency that, okay, this concentrating here would make us better. There's places you can do that. Fuck, I forgot what we were talking about now.
Well, we were just talking about misusing money.
Oh yeah, well if you got someone in there that was a lot more efficient than her, then things would be better. She shouldn't be getting like I was saying, that all goes back to her having no experience.
Is she shitty in general? Like,
I don't know. She's probably a nice person.
So she just slipped this one time.
I don't know.
Maybe she slipped before, but this is like
nothing. It's Canada. Nothing catches on in the news.
That's true.
Well, that's what I was saying before, when it's sort of like she had no experience and no post-secondary education. It seems like she's in the old boys club, and she was sort of, maybe she comes from a good family, or maybe she worked her ass off and got to where she is, and then just sort of became part of the club, right? And someone's like, oh, you know what, like, hey Eleanor, we've been kicking it since like I knew you from the 80s, 90s. You're a pretty decent person. You can have this. Like,
totally, yeah.
It sounds
you
like,
can be the mayor if you want.
Yeah, it's like, because we do that. Like, people do that. People aren't.
Yeah, you have an in. Connections.
Yeah, everybody would hook their friends up. There's no one's out there who's like,
yeah.
Okay, maybe a small majority who are like, yes, you will get that. Like, other people, if they knew they were like, that they knew they could get in trouble, they wouldn't do it. Or if they knew it was like really bad.
Connections and money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, money buys a lot.
You look at like a lot of famous people, and like whether you're listening to them or you're looking at their artwork or whatever it is, whatever their format, and you're like, this is dog shit. How are they so like? And like a lot of people will think it's dog shit, but since they have like money and connections, they can just go anywhere they want. But it's just a matter of having the odds of having the right connections.
You mean go anywhere? I'm thinking of physical things when you say dog shit. Like they produce shitty music when they were once good, and then people still think it's good, and they paint something shitty, and just because they painted something famous, they get like praise for it. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm more talking about like, okay, if we're gonna talk about painters, like if you are just a shitty painter and like nobody really digs it. I have no examples.
Don't be nice. Give me an example. Where's that?
No, I'm not getting in that.
At the Madrona. Who's the person at the Madrona right now that you don't like?
Oh no, I like that. It's just I even told you.
It?
I said I don't know what his name is. The guy before though, Clayton Anderson. Okay. Everybody should check him out. He's the boss. But the guy in there right now, he's good. It's just like any art format though. Music. Let's say like music, like rap music. I don't really like rap music. All that.
You listen
Kendrick's
to
like
all the
exceptional
time.
to everybody. But I mean like the really bad stuff, and it's just like, like how is this even a thing? And it's like, oh, he had connections and money probably. And even people who listen to like rap and hip hop music, they probably listen to it. Actually, I have no idea what they're doing.
I think that's probably
Maybe
why
that's
they
biased.
I don't think rappers come from like a rough background anymore, which is I know it's
Well,
it's fucked up.
Kendrick.
It's not. I know it's fucked up to say that's sad, but people probably like social justice warriors are probably booing me. But it's like the best rap came from like those people who like went through some shit, and you're like, oh, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, and right after they had seen some shit. Like I know it's so long since Jay-Z's been poor, so I'm sure that's got to have changed like the way he's made music. You know what I'm saying? I forget where I was going with that.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not in the best circumstance and you have an opportunity, you're like dying for that opportunity. If you're a hard worker and you're gonna chase it like crazy, but then when you got it, you don't know how good it is until it's gone, type thing.
Yeah.
So you start like reaping the benefits and taking advantage of the situation.
Would you ever buy? Or what's the most amount of money you spend on a car?
On a car?
On a car, not a bike.
Tesla.
Car. That's not.
Tesla. That's my. It doesn't matter. I guess like. I know you didn't ask what car, but I mean, what's the most amount of money? The most amount of money I'd spend is the amount of money that I'd spend on a Tesla. Those vehicles, everyone's like, yeah, but they fuck up and they break down. It's still not a number.
I don't know how much your Tesla is.
I don't know. I think they're like 100 and something.
American,
120.
Canadian. It's not. That's
let's
like
say 200,000 max.
Difference.
200,000.
Canadian or American?
Canadian.
Okay, Canadian. Okay. All right. So $200,000 for a car, but why?
Why?
Because you have a boner for Elon. Is that why?
Oh no, because it's just an amazing vehicle. People have like tried to make these like futuristic, amazing vehicles, and they've all been kind of like novelties. It's like when Honda had like the speedometer on the dash there, the digital speedometer, you know, and it was like, whoa, what is that? And everyone's like, oh, it's just that. It's kind of weird actually. I don't know if I like it. I like the dial more. And that's kind of like the past electric vehicles, right? And then this guy's like, I make a really nice electric vehicle. It goes very fast, and it's amazing. Have you ever like been in one or like looked at the amount of technology or just like innovation and like he was completely like, I'm gonna do my own fucking thing, fuck everybody else. It's so creative. I don't know. You don't like it?
I don't know. I just haven't looked into it. Like I'm sure it's a sweet car.
It's like one of the fastest vehicles, like just like street vehicles. It beats so many fast cars.
I don't know, something about it just there's something like I'm like it all seems good on paper, but there's just something about it that doesn't that I'm just like not trustworthy of. I feel kind of getting it. And it's gonna be like one of those fucking James Bond scenes where the car blows up or something.
What?
Something just like it just doesn't look. It's not like a Corvette or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or like okay, maybe not Corvette. Corvette's like poor man's.
Well, they're very like manual vehicles. I mean, this thing does.
I hope this mic picks up super high voice because I've been whispering this whole time.
Oh, I'm sure you're good, but I don't know, man. That vehicle's amazing. Everything about it. It drives on its own.
Okay, I tell you what.
Whether it fucks up or not. Okay, what do you think about this?
If I become
a hippie?
No. If I have $10 million,
you'll buy me a Tesla.
No, fuck you. I'll buy my. Oh Jesus Christ! No, I was gonna say the first luxury car I'll buy is a Tesla. I don't know. I'll get you a Honda Civic or something.
Okay.
I'll get you a new Honda Civic, man. Can't be disappointed with that.
Okay, what do you think about the Tesla vehicle? Had this like interesting situation it had to like practice, which was if it's driving down the road and there are people on the road, the car will sense the people, right? You know how the car drives on its own, it has sensors?
Yeah.
And it'll sense the people, and it has to decide, kill the 4 people or kill the driver.
Oh, really?
And it has to make that decision.
That's fucking nuts. That's insane. All right, you know what? I'm going to get a Tesla. You just sold me. If that's true, which I hope it is.
Yeah, that was like a big deal.
That sounds fucking insane.
It's a super smart vehicle.
That's intense.
You know,
but does it do the right one? Like, I only want to pick it if it does the right thing. Because if it's like it tries to do the right thing and then fails every time, I'm not going to get it and fucking kill, like 12 people before.
Or you want it to kill you?
No. I'd rather not hit anything.
Oh.
But like if
there's a video of it online predicting a car crash. It predicts a car crash. It sees little notions.
4 people?
Huh?
How old are the 4 people?
Oh, in the situation we were talking about before. Well, I don't know. Let's say a mom with 2 kids walking with a stroller.
I'd probably take the fall there.
And she's got groceries. She's all tired.
I'd take the fall. I'd take the fall. If it's not a bunch of geriatrics, or if it was a bunch of people who are already gonna die, like there's just like 4 people with like terminal cancer or ALS, 100%. I mean, I'm sure that if I was in their situation, I'd be like, you got 50 years ahead of you, maybe.
You would take them out?
No, I'd say, like, if I were, I'd kill those 4 people.
Oh my gosh.
But if they had a terminal disease and they had like a couple of years left to
What if the car gave you the option program whether you could, like, would you
the
like
program
to?
at my,
Would you
oh,
like
man.
to? What's the word? Execute?
No.
Or
I would like
self-destruct?
just whatever one's better for society. I think one healthy person is better than 4 people who are dead that are burdened on the. Okay, I hate to say it, yeah, but
Okay,
if
I
I
get
were
what you
there,
mean. It's
if I were there
it's
too,
the,
I'd
like
be
the raw
hundreds of
truth.
thousands of dollars. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks. It sucks. Like, your life probably sucks dealing with ALS. Your body's slowly stopping you
Just a
breathing.
bunch of cripples going across the road.
Yeah, and then like whatever. So those people, if I were in that situation, I'd say I'd give you a thumbs up to kill me. You're gonna live for another 40, 50 years, have a fucking blast. Life is pretty cool. Do some cool shit. I'm gonna die soon anyways, and I'm in a shitty place. Doesn't matter. I'm on the edge of death. Those people can go. If I'm there in that situation, run me over. Just fucking give her. And then just paint a painting of me after, and I'll be all cool. He was a good man.
He's a good man. Rubble everywhere. I don't know, man. That vehicle's amazing.
But would I be able to make that choice whether it's like take the... I mean, I guess I would say take... Would you take the kill 4 people or the one kill you?
I would kill me every time, I think.
Every time?
Every time. Well, I mean, like, unless it was like...
What I just explained.
If there was a magpie on the road and I was like, oh my... No, I just... the 4 people... Cripples? I don't know what I'd do, to be honest.
No, not cripples. Like, they're all gonna die. Like, they're all like... Within a year, they're gonna die.
They're all hooked up to IVs, walking their
Yeah.
down the road
Like
with
terminal,
their butt cheeks hanging out.
Yeah, terminal cancer.
Well, I mean, that's pretty silly. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the innate human thing to do would be to just, take them people down.
Yeah.
Take care of them. Take care of business.
If you think about the maximum amount of good it could do for society is because their lives are basically over and the rest of your life is undecided. Like, the amount of good they've done for community is done and they're not going to do any more, whereas you have the ability to do a lot of good things.
But what if I'm a piece of shit?
Yeah, that's true too. But I think
what if you're like a piece of shit and you're just like super useless and you're just like
right.
you're like an asshole at your job and you're just upset at the world and like life's been good to you, but you've been a spoiled brat your whole life, and then you're just you go home, you grab your McChicken and you go and you play Counter-Strike and you bully some kids and then
don't say that.
Nah, dude. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe.
Yeah, but most people.
But that's a God perspective. We're talking about like ourselves.
I don't think most people are bad people. I think most people are at least decent people to the point where they provide some sort of like, if they could make the decision to do good or good bad, they'd consciously say do good, even though it's not so apparent. Sometimes they do bad things because they don't know. But most people, when it's like good or bad, they go, yeah, I'll pick good. So most people aren't the worst type of people and shitty people. I think most people have
There's a lot more good people than shitty people.
Yeah, most people have the ability to become great in their lives, where only a few people are sort of like doomed to the eternal. Like, there's only a few people, I think, that are way on the other side, or else we would notice it more and we would see it more in society. There's some sad people and some bad people, but there's
everybody at the bottom of the line isn't gonna like do something, like just be a terrible person overall.
And most people are compassionate, empathetic, or to totally different reasons. But
unless you're a BP oil guy, sorry.
Yeah,
that was a South Park reference. But what's the next topic you have here? Are these like local topics?
Well, I only did.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea.
Toronto's not local, but Canadian. Yeah, I don't know. I just think I like that it has something to do with Canada. I like Canada. Canada's awesome.
Not much drama happens here though, like the United States.
So much fucking drama. I mean, there's different levels of drama, but yeah, no, we don't have the Trump as president, but yeah, Canada's awesome. Come visit. Let's pick from the hat of truth. I'll hear you ruffle it around. Okay, the hat of truth. We just drew a bunch of topics on a hat, or on a piece of paper and then cut them up.
On a hat.
Shut the fuck up. That one's too thin. I know what that one is. Fuck. I memorized like how big they are, so I'm gonna try and pick one
Should
I like.
I pick it?
No, I'll get this one right here.
You're like, oh, my favorite subject.
We're back. We're gonna talk about some social justice warriors.
This is what pulled out of the hat.
I'm so white. Oh my Christ.
So,
I look dead.
you have an issue with the SJWs? Well, I mean, in some aspects. Because some of them are, like, decent. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah. Like, imagine if it was, like homosexual people.
What do you mean?
Like, back in the day when, like, homosexuality was a big deal. And now it's like...
What do you mean?
Well, like, they would be SJWs, the people who'd be standing for, like, gay rights and stuff. Right? So back then, it's kind of weird. Like, the SJW scene has totally... It's gone from, like, being justifiable and being like, stand for this. And, like, because this is super meaningful. And now people are like, we have nothing to stand for. Yeah. So let's stand for this now. And, like, let's stand for this.
It's the same type of people. They just had something to be socially just about before.
Mm-hmm.
They have things to be socially just about now. It's just they're not. Like, if you want to talk about a patriarchy, go to the Middle East, right? But you don't see feminisms. Or, oh, my fuck.
You don't
feminists.
see feminisms?
You don't see feminisms. You don't see feminists.
Biases.
Or at least not, like, a lot. Like, I mean, there's some that are, I think it's called, like, post-colonial feminism that talk about, like, feminism in third world countries.
Mm-hmm.
The patriarchy doesn't really exist here anymore. Like, deep stuff. But
Dropping bombs.
I really think it doesn't. And if you've seen Jordan Peterson's video on why men and women are different, go to that, and he sort of breaks it down. I'm not going to get into that, but what the fuck were we talking about?
SJWs and how like back in the day, like people stand for gay pride and it was a big deal, and you know, and now it's kind of like there's not much to stand for. But then you were saying people just aren't standing for the right things anymore. It's like kind of more, I don't want to say petty stuff, but it's not as a big deal. Things like
there's a lot of things that people should be protesting for, and I don't think the stuff that's happening now is those things. Like at Berkeley, the shit that's going on, the Antifa, whatever the fuck. Like I'm almost so ashamed that's like that people act like that I just want to believe that it's a conspiracy, because those people are just like so ridiculous.
Like extreme. They're like extremist SJWs in some ways. Just some of those videos online. I'm sure there's a lot of good ones, honestly. Like, I'm sure there are some that it's like, hey, like, the modest SJW. It wouldn't really be a warrior, though. It'd be like an SJM, social justice monk.
And the thing is, most people who I talk about that are pretty far left. I mean, I know you and me are pretty libertarian, but like most of the people who I talk to that are pretty far left that I know that are sort of out there, we agree on most things. I mean, most of the people, I can like go have a conversation with them. We can go out for dinner and chill. And yeah, even though our views are really separate, it's not like, well, fuck you. Like, right. I don't know why there's people out there with flagpoles and like they all sound like they were the nerdy kids in high school, and they're like fucking freaking out over whatever. And I just don't even know you don't know what's going on. It's like, yeah, I see a bunch of fucking idiots on one side and a bunch of fucking idiots on the other side, and they're yelling shit at each other. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit extreme.
And throwing what? I don't even know why they're throwing Pepsi at each other. Like, that was supposed to be like a corporate thing. Like all these
the memes.
Yeah, but apparently I don't know where I read this, somewhere on the internet, so it must be true. That Pepsi was like they saw an opportunity to market their brand, so they're like, okay, all these young people are going to these protests. So let's go bring a shit ton of Pepsi to all the protests, and all of these protests are viewed online, so people are going to be drinking Pepsi all over.
Right.
And now you see videos mocking Pepsi at protests, and people trying to hand out Pepsis at protests.
Right.
And now even me talking about this, fucking 4 people are going to see this video.
Yeah.
And Pepsi's just like 4 more people we have got.
Yeah, totally. It's like the Donald Trump situation again.
Yes, yeah, it's just...
And even in the Donald Trumpception, this is it again.
I guess.
We're talking about him. We're talking about talking about him.
He's selling himself, I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone sells themselves.
Well, I was just going back to
not like
SJWs.
physically. Oh yeah, SJWs. Am I even in this? Yeah, I am. Sort of.
Why? How come there's not like? Because like First Nations issue is such a big deal, right?
It's
like
not,
this.
it's not First Nations. It's SJWs.
No, I'm not talking.
That's a good one for the hat.
Well, I'm
though.
just no. I'm saying like, if the SJWs want to stand for something, shouldn't they stand for something? Like, I think that's a lot more important than. I feel so bad saying that. It's a really sensitive subject.
First Nations reparations. Has a nice ring to it.
You know what I mean?
I didn't listen to the thing you said.
Oh, you bastard!
I'm talking right. You think I can write and listen in this state of mind?
You're weak.
Right now I am.
You're weak. I was just talking about SJWs, and shouldn't they stand for
Both of
something a little bit more important or immediate?
Yeah, no, but classes like women's studies and like weird shit like that of not like I'm sure that there's some good stuff taught in women's studies, but like I think a lot of the weird college like this is all coming from one place, and it's like young people going to college. Like it comes from like their super leftist classes, like classes people can take, where professors like just made some shit up and were like, if they don't like this, it's intolerant, and then started teaching a class like transsexual or transphobic or a class on transsexuals in college. Now, I wouldn't think that there are going to be too many college classes in the world with like classes on transsexuals. I mean, and it's not that it's not important, it's just there's so many other things that you could do, so you just have to question why. So many things that would be better. There's like better ways to like. I mean, you could argue that's another one.
More important.
I think there's more important things to study than transsexuals. I mean, I'm not downplaying transsexuals or their lives or anything like that at all, but I think like there's some things that if we counted units and benefit to society, there's some classes that would have more units of benefit to society. That's my argument. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, you listen to like a lot of Jordan Peterson.
What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about SJWs and standing for something more important.
And then we started talking about classes.
Well, yeah, you started talking about women's studies.
Oh yeah. Like I think it's those types of classes where they learn it, and it's like teachers. Like, a lot of the teachers are really weird, and some teachers that are like, yeah, I'm gonna start this class or try to get these classes started, and then they sort of preach their rhetoric to people. I mean, I could be full of shit on that and completely wrong, but that's just what I have a.
Well, it seems
sort of
like
image
a
in my
lot
head
of.
that.
There's been a lot of shit going on lately, so I'd guess there'd be a lot more teachers who might be a little bit more, like, pushy and like activists.
No, but there's a reason why the ones that are batshit crazy we see on the TV going batshit crazy, and the ones that we like we listen to on YouTube for 2 hours.
Good point.
That's what I'm saying is that the weird ones, like all the ones that Jordan Peterson argued with on his thing, that the Australian female to male transsexual. There's a gay dude, and then there is like a sort of not butch but butchish lesbian. Shit, not lesbian. She must have been transsexual or lesbian. I don't know. She's pretty butch.
She's just a human, bro.
I don't know. She or he, whatever they prefer to be called. They. There we go. It's an easy for now. Yeah. They were all
sound like another species.
Just those three were all people who I was like, the points you're making, I don't really agree with. I don't agree with all of them. Some of them I do, but some of them are like, I don't agree with. When Jordan Peterson's, I'm like, yep. There's a reason. I mean, you and me think alike, so I think generally we do.
I think a lot of. I bet you there's so many good social justice people, and they just all the drama rises above the rest. So, But I don't like know enough about that. I just know it's always like anytime I see anything online about it, it's never like SJW stand up for this and it's successful. It's always like them making a fool of themselves, somehow being like overly aggressive, and like didn't somebody get like a brick thrown at him?
Some guy hit with the chain a couple weeks
Chain.
ago
Yeah.
in a bag. It was a teacher, a university professor.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like
Who
their
teaches-
image is
who-
not good.
Who I would bet most of my life savings on, who teaches probably some weird classes that like
Confronting.
aren't. Yeah, or like he probably teaches like women's studies or First Nations or something like. And First Nations, First
Something.
Nations not so much as being a crazy one, but that's actually, as far as history, is really cool. But you know what I mean?
Society. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
some
people-
weird liberal arts class.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got hit with a chain. So yeah,
No, he hit someone with a chain. Like he hit like a person.
some guy. It wasn't another. Oh,
It was a
teacher
bike
got
lock.
hit by another teacher. Yeah.
Was it?
Well, some sort of. He was another person of the
It was a bike lock,
faculty.
not a chain.
Right.
My bad.
But
And he wasn't
Any-
doing anything either. He was like just in the middle, and he's like stop, and then like he was just like chilling. He wasn't popping off or anything.
he just came out of nowhere.
He wasn't splitting wigs.
He wasn't.
Wasn't splitting wigs, and he got his wig split.
Yeah. Jesus. So their
Oh,
image
fuck.
is so like if they want to come off as like reasonable, like they're standing for something. It's like their image should at least be. They should try and have a good reputation because their reputation is shit right now. If you bring up SJW, everybody kind of gets this like negative kind of vibe. At least a lot of people I talk to, as soon as I bring up SJW, not even people I'm just around often, if I just bring it up, it's usually kind of like, ooh, like they have a bad reputation, which is unfortunate. If you're standing for something you're so passionate about, that's silly.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's tons of what like social justice warrior, like who would like fall into that title. I'm sure there's tons of people that do really good things every day, and there is a lot of social justice. Like by pure definition, I would say I'm a social justice warrior.
Right.
And like I like justice. Like someone tried to break into my car the other day. I said, "Come down here. We're either gonna get in a fight or call the police." Called the police. Followed them. Like as far as social justice goes, yeah, justice is a good thing. I believe in that. But social justice warrior, whether that's like a convenient name or they're just the very bottom of the barrel of that sort of categorization. I mean, it sells. It's what people want to see. It's why we go on SJW hate. We go on to Reddit freakouts. You can go to YouTube, and it's just like
I've been on any
it's
of those things.
lists. Oh, that's me then. It's a list of just compilations of that, like number 36, number 37, number 38. That's what people want to see, and a lot of people are videotaping it. You can go there now.
Well, I
and
guess I
it's
still
all-
enjoy seeing it though.
Yeah, but the stuff that you would see and actually go, wow, that's actually some social justice. I don't
Right.
think that stuff really gets put on. Like it doesn't. It's not a.
It's not drama.
You got to go to uplifting news for that.
Hmm. So the homeless people in Victoria.
No, that's another one in the.
Oh, is that another thing?
That's on the hat.
Should we
It's
pick
in the
something
hat.
else out of the hat? Maybe we'll get that one.
I mean, we'll do one more. I mean, well, you know, should we put this back in case we want to?
Yeah, sure.
You know what? No, we'll retire it for now.
Retire.
it.
Okay. Oh,
Oh no! what
this
is it?
isn't gonna be
Vancouver housing
good,
crisis?
man. You put in some like touchy ones.
Is it Vancouver? housing-
Feminism.
Oh. We just SJWs and feminism is tied pretty tightly, so you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
guess
Let's put that back in the hat. That's for you. That's for you. Don't be Vancouver.
Immigrants to Canada.
Oh yeah, I'll deal with this.
You'll fuck with it.
I'll fuck with it.
I don't know like much about. I'm just basically gonna be some dude you're like talking to, and I'm just gonna give you my opinion, cause I don't know
What do
too
you-
much about this.
Okay. You can give me your opinion.
Well, what like immigrants to Canada? What do I think about them?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of different kind of immigrants,
Well, yeah, no shit.
right? So
break it down.
I mean, I don't know,
Fuck, that light's bright.
but there's really like There's just common immigrants who come and they want to live to Canada and they just blend in with society and then
They want to live to Canada.
huh?
They want to live to Canada.
Yeah, they want to live to Canada, so they come.
They want to make a leave to Canada.
Yeah.
Very good country
Yeah,
it is.
lots of snow, lots of trees.
Very much.
It's good shit.
White girl.
So there's like really good tourists, or sorry, I just classify them as good. But there's like the
You
ones
just
that
fucking classified them as tourists. They're immigrants.
oh immigrants. Yeah. Well, anyhow, this is
You don't get any more of
stoned
this.
and drunk chit chat.
Yeah. Of course, immigration is good. I mean, I have two. My one grandfather immigrated from the United States. The other one from England. They did it the right way. They weren't hopping borders or fences or trying to come in here legally, or like they didn't try and have their kids born here when they're from China so they could legally move here, or hop the border at the States, or come here with no intention to leave. I mean, there's a lot of ways people can try and immigrate to Canada that are the wrong way. Like, I don't think the system we have now is perfect, but I think it's set up so that it does the maximum good for the rest of the world while minimizing the damage and effects that happen to Canada. And I think we just have to work with it or have someone work on it, but I think that they really got to shut down all this other shit that's happening. Did you know about the birth houses in Vancouver?
No.
They have like private hospitals where a woman from China will come here on her tourist visa, but only for the last bit of her pregnancy, and then they'll go to a private house where it's all Chinese women and private Chinese nurses, and have their kid born there, so their kid has Canadian citizenship, so their baby's born in Canada, so that they can raise them when they'll have Canadian citizenship, and they can. I don't know if they can immediately live in Canada, or if they can. Or if they have to wait until the child is old enough to sponsor them, but it somehow benefits them or their child that they come over and have their child born in Canada as a citizen. And I think, I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but I think it's to allow the parents to move there permanently later on in life. Like, when we retire, we're going to move out of here and we're going to be to Canada when Huang turns 18.
My mom was born in Canada, but she lived in Italy for 20 years or so. You know, she was like born. She literally like my grandparents.
She's the second case I've heard of this.
Right, my grandparents were visiting Edmonton, the Italian family, and then she, was.
Oh, she was really just born here. Like, she only spent a couple.
Yeah, they came and then she came out and then they went back. I wonder. It's kind of an interesting situation. So, what do you think about that? If they were to come, the Italians.
I mean, they already did. Their plague is already.
Not like Canada though.
Their plague has already ended. Same with the mix.
I guess over in like Eastern
I don't know if
Canada.
Can white people say other racist terms towards white? I call you a wop all the time.
Yeah.
You don't seem too pleased about that. I call you a wop all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. You guinea. I don't know. I guess I'm a Yankee.
So what do you think about that though?
Yankee.
So like you're saying like Chinese people come and I guess
I
if
don't
you want
think
to
they
talk
should be able
local
to do
though.
that. I think if you wanna come to Canada, you go through the same shitty drawn out process that everybody else has to go do. Fuck. I mean, I know we already basically it's distinguished that money and power talks, but we have to try our best to be as like socially just as possible. Even I know that's what making fun of social justice warriors and everything, but actual social justice, which most people would agree with, we should try and be like, okay, you don't have a better chance of coming in because you're loopholing the system or because you have more money. I mean, economic refugees come in all the time. They're from a shitty country. They want a better life for themselves. They don't want to go through the process the hard way. Maybe they want a free place to stay to begin with, a little extra bump, whatever. Whatever it is, they morally should be going one way, or at least by Western standards, they should be going one way and saying, okay, we're going to register, and they take that path. So these are the people we talked about earlier. It was like, yeah, these guys are kind of the assholes, and there's that, everyone's that. Some people are just for whatever reason. I mean, some people probably have amazing reasons. And if they do have amazing reasons, then yeah, special client or whatever. People like, I don't know the word for it, but there's a word for it. They circumvent the actual process of where they have to go through paperwork and bullshit
Right.
and time waits, and they just show up like, I'm a refugee, I'm here,
Right.
and they probably get some pretty. They are probably treated very well.
That was a long thing. I don't know if I could follow it the entire way through.
Oh fuck! I lost myself about 25% in. I think people should do it the right way.
Which is just like by the rules.
By the books. I went to Berlin. Took me 3 months to get my registration, just to say I lived in the city, not as a refugee. Just to say like, yeah, you physically live here. It was a super pain in the ass.
Well, I guess it's a lot for them to control or keep in mind.
But could you really? I don't think you understand, because you haven't been to cities where it's happened. I don't think you understand like how different it makes a vibe. Just like, you know how the amount of Asian people, it's not just Chinese actually, the amount of Asian people in Vancouver make it feel like you're not really in Canada. That amount with different populations has different feels, and there's a large Turkish and Muslim, not that there's anything wrong with Muslims, I don't agree with Islam, but there's a huge Muslim population that makes you also feel like you're not really in a Canadian city or a German city as Berlin. So,
but isn't that kind of Canada? Isn't that kind of what Canada is? Just like we're like known for being so like multicultural. So
most of the people that come here learn our values really fast. Like East Indian people are usually pretty Canadian, like Korean, Japanese. I mean, like just because there's just a shit ton amount of Chinese people, and a lot of them like live
bring
in
the
the
Chinese
community.
culture.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. I mean, there's no real place in Canada where you say, like, oh, those Koreans or oh, those Japanese. It's because there's not a shit ton of Koreans and a shit ton of Japanese. I mean, there's a noticeable amount, but it seems to be that the most people are coming from like China. And I wouldn't even mind if everyone was like physically Chinese, but we're straight up Canadian. Like, oh, it's Tommy. Like, hey, Tommy, you want to go play some floor hockey? Yeah, man. Blah blah blah. This that. It's just that the language barrier, first of all, is probably the biggest thing that prevents our cultures from sort of meshing properly.
Right.
I mean, why do you think we slide with all the other English speaking countries so well?
Language,
New Zealand,
yeah,
Australia, like all those, like if you think if war broke up, you're like, all right, you think your posse, you're like, all right, that's my crew. Like United States, Australia, UK, like there's really no way that those countries would be on a different side in a war, like as it stands. I mean, unless some shit would really have to pop off before someone was like, all right, we're gonna.
The Commonwealth.
Yeah, it's Commonwealth crew, man. It's the boys. You know how much that means? That means so. That's a lot. That's the difference between like as one. What's that pencil thing where it's like as one and you snap it and it's pencil and there's like
Really?
6 or 7 and you try and snap it and it doesn't break. That's
Commonwealth. What
yeah.
it is right
So
now.
when push comes to shove, as nations, we've got each other. And I know that there's a lot of other people we have in there too, like Germany, France. Like there's like United Nations, but like when you think about it, like immediately when you're like, all right, who's got our back? You know, in your mind, like care. Is for us, we're like states.
Right.
Like, states will take care of it.
Yeah, don't worry, they like that shit. Yeah.